Let's talk about the design of the First Principles series. The whole collection, series 1 through 3, totals 13 booklets. They are all built around an idea found in Paul's letter to the church at Colossae, written almost 2,000 years ago. See to it that no one takes you captive through the philosophy and empty deception according to the tradition of men, according to the elementary principles of the world, rather than according to Christ. The phrase elementary principles best translates the first principles. They are the basic fundamentals of the faith, and they represent the first things that must be learned upon which everything else is built. If they're not carefully understood, everything else will be distorted. The writer of the letter to the Hebrews understood this when he exhorted the Hebrew Christians who were forgetting their newfound faith in Hebrews chapter 5. Concerning him we have much to say, and it is hard to explain since you have become dull of hearing. For though by this time you ought to be teachers, you have need again for someone to teach you the elementary principles of the oracles of God. And you've come to need milk and not solid food. For everyone who partakes only of milk is not accustomed to the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But solid food is for the mature, who because of their practice have their senses trained to discern good and evil. The Hebrew Christians forgot the first principles of their faith. Once they became Christians, their Jewish family members and friends put tremendous pressure on them to return to Judaism and began challenging the basics of the Christian faith. It is clear from this passage that it's impossible to move on towards maturity without carefully understanding the first principles. This series of booklets is designed to lead you through the first principles so that you can build upon them and grow on towards maturity. In every generation of churches since the time of the New Testament, believers were expected to learn these first principles. In the early church, before new believers were accepted into the church, they needed to learn the Didache, the teaching. The Didache was a summary of basic teaching of the New Testament, the first principles. During the Reformation, this teaching was called catechism, again designed to help Christians master the first principles. Actually, the concept of first principles is important in every area of life. It is central to all quality education. Almost 150 years ago, in the classic work, The Idea of the University, John Newman referred to a concept he called pushing up the first principles. According to Newman, the purpose of a university is to teach the first principles of every discipline and then explore the full limits of those first principles, pushing the principles up through all levels of research. So it is with our Christian faith. Once we've mastered the first principles, we're able to push them up through all areas of our lives. That is, we are ready to move on to maturity. The First Principles series is carefully designed to help you lay the foundation of your faith. Whether you're a new believer, a believer who needs to have these first principles laid carefully for the first time, or for whatever reason need to have them laid afresh, do your work carefully and you'll reap a lifetime of benefits.